Alright, I just tried to go live and it wouldn't let me. Barely walked. You can see there's a lot of wind. Cowbells going off. I just want to take a walk around now that the snow is all gone, and see if Kyle has done anything yet. Hard to tell because we've had some very high winds. So I have to take anything that's happened with a grain of salt. Like, you know, got these new dead tree that busted off, and we had 3 feet of snow. Pretty much just kept snowing all of February, most of January. We had some very high winds. Some of the stuff that they did last year is still there. Very cold out today. It was actually snowing. Excuse me. So now it's time for me to come out here and re-familiarize myself with a lot of things. And some things that I couldn't see last year. There's a pretty good size tree leaned, along with a couple of smaller ones. I say it every time I come out here, and if you're watching these things back to back, this has been almost 4 months since I've been back in here. I don't know if you can see over there, but there's still some ice on the swamp. And I gotta just walk around and re-familiarize myself with the way everything looks, so I can tell when it goes different. Unless they've done some extensive remodeling in here, I won't be able to tell until they start doing a bunch of stuff like they did last year, if they do it. The leaves had not started budding here yet. In Ohio, Dee's got some leaves that are budding, but everything's still brown here. And all these little sticks that are on here, I got Rick the stick. Usually what I do is take them like this and fling all the little sticks out of the way, so eventually I have a nice clear path to walk around through. It's usually not this bad, but like I said, we've had a winter this winter like we haven't had in 15 years. Where it just kept snowing every single day. We haven't had a winter where it started snowing in November and just never melted. We haven't had that in 20 years. Swamp. Now I'm in the cedars. You can see the cedar trees. Off in here, I'm walking towards the hemlock trees. I got to keep looking up because there's things like that fall off in the windstorms. I don't want to become squashed in the woods. They call them widow makers. There's a, I guess I do remember that teepee over here sticking out a lot more right now for some reason. But yeah, I've taken a video of this before. A broken off log sitting on a tree that they're bending with this one tree up against it. I've taken videos of that one before. Back over here to the trail. Whew. I should have wore my stocking hat, or my toque, whatever you want to call it. My ears are cold and got my work hat on. Let's see, anything big happening here? Not that I can see yet. Now last year at this time I noticed right in the springtime is when they started doing this here. See that little tiny, this here? Oops, I moved it. You see how it's stuck under that and under that piece right there, and it's kind of stuck in there? That didn't just fall there, that was placed there. But last spring I started to notice all those little tiny things like that started getting more and more of them. I don't know if that's one of the ones from last spring or not. But I started to notice a whole bunch of them, and then they got slightly bigger and slightly bigger, and there's so many of them that I had to start videoing, and I had to admit to myself that something was doing it. It's not my imagination or anything. I don't know. I would imagine that they had a very small baby goofing around in here, and they allowed him to play with the sticks, make stick structures, and they got bigger and more elaborate. This one here. But wintertime makes everything look different, so just got to get my eyes on everything again. Try to remember what was here last year. Now, not that this could have done it by itself, but this is new. Let me try to explain this thing. This is all one piece right here, but in order to bend that stick, in order to bend that one that's live right here, they have stuck this one in a U up in here, wound this one under and then over. They've used this one and this. And you see how this is wound over the top of this and under the bottom of this here? That's how I believe they bend these, make these tree bends. They stick something on the end of it that causes it to grow bent like that. I always say I don't ever do this. I very rarely ever put the stick up against a tree like that. I usually stick them in the ground wherever I'm at. I don't see. Not that that couldn't have just happened naturally, but being that it's under this hemlock tree and woven in like that, doesn't look natural. It's hard to tell what's going on sometimes. And last year, after I decided that something was doing that, and I started taking videos to basically remind myself more of what was out here. So, yep, I can go back and look at my videos and say, yep, this was here, that was there, and I didn't recognize this, but it was already there. Now I'm out by the original tree. The pine tree that was bent originally, that made me a year and a half ago figure that something was here. That's this one here. Now when I first found it, and it was like that, it was still alive, and I thought that it should be like this is now, that there should be a limb stuck across it or something, but there was nothing. Sorry, there's a lot of wind, I can't do anything about it. That was probably a 40-45 mile an hour gust up there. But they forced it down and put a lot of stress on it, enough to make it stay there. But now there's some trees and limbs that fell on it. But back over there was a lean-to. And the snow has completely flattened that. I took down the lean-to that I made right there because I had a dream that a female Bigfoot was looking at me as a potential mate, and then a male Bigfoot that was mad because I made a better stick structure than he did charged me, and I woke up. So I came out here the next day and tore it down and apologized. So I'm just out here, and you can see there's tons of things leaned all around these bigger trees. They were here last year, but I don't know. It's until I come out here and things start to change a little bit. All I can do is come out here in the daytime a few times and document how things still look. This one here, they've stuck sticks all over it last year. I thought about possibly going out last night, but the wind was so strong that I didn't think I'd be able to hear my voice. Definitely not going to hear any footsteps or any of that stuff. Wind's still pretty strong today. If it calms down, maybe I'll go out after Dee does her live. Rabbits. Rabbity poop. There's deer and rabbits. I've heard the foxes screaming so far. Dogs woke me up the other night. There's a raven. This is all still here. Little sticks let me in. I'm also trying to fix up the inside of my house and do some renovations because I'm gonna sell it, move to Maine as soon as I retire in about 11 months or so. So I'm hoping sometime this summer, while I'm still here, that they'll show themselves at least once, because that's all it's going to take. Then I won't have to come out here with this camera anymore. All they have to do is directly see either a tall man or a dog man. All we have to do is see one directly. If I do, all of that's proven true as much as I can prove it true to myself, because I can never prove it to somebody else. No, it doesn't matter what kind of video I get. Oh, that's AI, a person in a monkey suit, could be anything. Yep, you're right, it could be anything. And the only person I'm trying to prove this to is myself. And because Dee is very good at finding them. They like her voice or her tone, or whatever they like about her. That's why I play the videos. But she also likes seeing these little stick structures, the big ones that are in the other woods. And she's pretty good at me looking around with my camera like this and saying, okay, which direction should I go? And she'll send me there and I'll find something. First time she did it, she sent me right directly where I found Dogman tracks. Did not find Dogman. I haven't seen one yet. But there were definitely more signs of large canine than anything else over there. But maybe I did not walk far enough. Who knows? And this is the area right here where I've gotten some EVPs, so I'm going to do some EVP work. Is there anybody out here right here? Anybody out here with me at all? It's windy and there's a raven in the background, so you're going to have to talk really loud if you want this phone to do your voice. When I listen back, I'll be able to hear it. Do you have a message for me? Can you tell me your name? Here are some limbs that busted off. I can't see up in that tree where they would have busted off from. They could have just fell straight down and then fell end out like this. But I don't see where they came from up here in this tree. Could be they were attempting to make a windbreak. Although it would have been a better spot over here, right here, to make a windbreak. This natural fall here that happened a few winters ago. Ooh, my hands are cold now. My hands and my ears are cold. You better bundle up, Dee. It's not a nice day out here. Alright, now we're coming up to the boneyard. Skull is still there. One of the leg bones is still there. Okay, remember I had a skull and a couple of leg bones? Now I have a skull and one leg bone. There's nothing inside those bones that they want to eat. The marrow is all bad now. Nothing in there, so I don't know. Sometimes they disappear and sometimes they come back. Sometimes they come back with new ones. I don't know why they leave bones right there. Woo! It is chilly. Wouldn't be so bad, but that wind chill on my ears and my hands is really bad. Took my breath away. Alright. Looks like I got some work to do with my path. I do not see anything new out here. At least nothing that I can say was specifically done, since this is the first time I've been back here in months. But there's my walk around. And I haven't seen anything. I'm gonna go out. If the wind chills down, I'm going to go out. And Dee told me to see if Kyle will go to her house. And I'll come out here tonight. And I'm going to ask Kyle to go and tap on her window of her house. Or tell his name the way I say it. And say Kyle when she's out in the woods. But anyway, there's the pretty sunset. There's the nursery. My little walk, and I'm cold. My first time out here in a while, but we will see what happens over time. In the next month or two. So, ciao for now.